Hello, hi, my name is Audrey Marie. Welcome back to my channel. We will be starting a brand new reading vlog. For timeline's sake, I just finished my most recent reading vlog, so go check those out because it will give you some of my prior opinions of some of the books I'll be starting and finishing in this vlog. So one of the books that I'm currently reading is Wyatt. Me and my roommate have been reading through this together as a audiobook, and I'll be honest, I wanted to stop listening to it maybe an hour into this book. We hated the first book in the series, which is Cash, and I wanted to see if the second one would get any better, really. And so far, it's not going great. Nothing's happened between the two characters in this entire book, or maybe around 70%. And we have about 2.5, 3 hours, somewhere in there, left of the book. I hate every single moment of it. We listened to the audiobook for maybe 2 hours today, and nothing happened between the two characters. It was just them having sex the entire time. It's just lust driven. My opinion of this book and series is not great. But the other book that I'm currently in the middle of is Heir. I'm at page 260, chapter 31. This is jumping into a very different dynamic than the previous two books in the series, where you're centered around Selena, Dorian, and Kale. This one, you're jumping into a new setting for Selena and a completely different dynamic between Kale and Dorian, and they're getting up to some shenanigans as well. I'm really enjoying this book so far. We got introduced some new characters and some new point of views as well in this book. In the beginning, I didn't really quite understand why we were getting introduced to this character and how she was going to become important at all. And as time has gone on, I still am not a huge fan of her chapters, but slowly, as each chapter of her has been given to us, she slowly grew on me as to what's going on and how she's not just a block of ice and has no emotions and no empathy towards other living creatures. And I'm really liking the wyverns that she gets to be involved in her point of view of the story. And also Selena getting thrown into this new setting is giving such a magical feel into this world, because where she's getting thrown into has magic everywhere, and she can shift into her fae body. And you're also getting introduced into all these new characters, and this one character that is a constant through her point of view is Rowan. I'm so intrigued by him. You get to know what animal he shifts into, and you find out that he's actually been watching her for a good while before he introduces himself to her. I'm very intrigued as to what their dynamic will grow into, because it started off really poor between the two of them, and now as time has gone on, both of them have grown on one another. And it's kind of cool to see how the dynamic between the two of them has slowly shifted as Rowan has grown to respect Selena more. Selena does respect him a little bit more, because he didn't leave her alone and almost died, and he was there to save her. I would say Selena's is my favorite chapter and point of view of this book. I'm very intrigued as to Kale's storyline and how that's gonna work as well. I'm excited to keep going through this book. I'm loving every single moment of it.
In the neon deserted fishing port, decrypt the old satellites report with a rusty compass, map the heart-shaped reef on the chart. You and I are two lost cargo ships.
I got an update for you regarding my progress and completion of Wyatt. That book just plain up sucked. We should have stopped it a long time ago. We knew what the climax was because it got spoiled at the end of Cash. We had a feeling that was going to be the climax just based on how bad these books were, but literally nothing happened in this book. We listened to so much of the audiobook last night just to finish the book, and pretty much 75 to 80% of the time we were listening was just them having sex. There was no character development. There was no plot, really. There was the miscommunication trope, and her dad pulled out a gun on Wyatt because Wyatt didn't tell Sally that he was willing to completely move away with her, and he was planning on telling her the night that she was telling her parents and Wyatt both that she had already resigned from the college for the work she was going to be doing. I feel like they should have just talked a little bit more in this book regarding those big decisions and at least been like, oh, hey, I don't know how I feel about going off to this college anymore. I'm thinking I want to stay here, and have a serious conversation about it and not just have it in passing. And then Wyatt should have told her sooner. I gave Wyatt an even worse star rating than Cash. Wyatt, I gave a 0.5. It was that bad. I will not be continuing the series. I feel like I wasted so much time that I could have been reading books that I actually enjoyed. Normally, I try to give authors 3 different shots, 3 different books to see if I want to read another book by them. I gave her 2, unless it's a different series years later. I don't think I'll pick up another book by Jessica Peterson. My roommate also gave it a 0.5 stars, so we were on the same wavelength regarding how bad that book was. We were talking during the last chapters of the book because we were just so tired of it and we wanted it to be done. We just played it in the background and we stopped paying attention to the end of the book. It even read off the epilogue to us and we were just chatting about something completely different. There's that. On to some better progress that I've done recently, and that is in Heir. I finally obtained my audiobook copy through Libby of Heir. So now I can lay in bed with my earbuds in, with my eyes closed, and just relax before I go to bed. And just crank out a couple hours worth of an audiobook. So this is so good so far. I finally got to part 2 of the book, which is called Heir. And that is page 309, chapter 36. I'm really enjoying this. There's a connection between Selena and Rowan going on, and the training that Rowan just put Selena through was ridiculous. I can't believe what just happened and the danger he put her and Luca into. What were you thinking? I was stunned. It makes sense that there's got to be some more drama in the instance, but I was not prepared. My heart was beating out of my chest whenever those chapters came upon me. I was so stressed out. I felt so bad for Rowan because he just stood there and he was using up all his magic to keep the ice between Selena and the monster below them. Sarah J. Maas knew how to get me on my toes. I was not prepared for that. Whew, I was very stunned. And then afterwards, and then the conversation of Selena and Rowan regarding how the ember that she had left and she's been guarding went out, and so she was struggling and she let it all out on the people that was around her, and luckily they happened to actually know who Selena was, even though she was keeping her identity a secret, so they understood a bit more as to why she's the way she is. So even though they were a little heartbroken because of what she said to them, they understood and they were able to take her apology. So I feel so bad for Selena. And Selena and Rowan had a conversation, and hopefully everything starts to go okay between the two of them, because they had a heartfelt moment where Rowan finally opened up to Selena regarding what happened in his past and why he is the way he is a little bit. We got a little look into his past. So finally he's opening up, and hopefully Rowan and Selena can help one another grow and not have so much darkness around the two of them. I feel so bad for the two of them. They've had so much go on in their life, and I'm so excited to continue and get engrossed in this world.
Rusty anchors and the acid rain drips when the tides are coded in binary.
I finished Heir. Crazy, right? I love this book so much. I could not get enough of this book. I loved every single moment of it. Probably could have done without some of the point of views, but I know there's gonna be a full circle moment as to why the other point of views are gonna be important. We already learned as to one of them, but I know the other one's gonna be important as well in the future. Cannot get enough of this series, this world. There's so much happens in these books. I just don't want to put them down. I can't stop reading. I am addicted to this series pretty much. I need to know what happens in the next chapter, so I'm not ever taking a break. Sarah J. Maas has given me whiplash on these characters so badly. I love a character for one moment, then I hate the character, then I love the character again, then I hate the character again. I can see why people's favorite series of all time. Like, I love all the action, I love all the stressful moments, and then all the calm moments we have, so you're constantly on the edge of your seat waiting to see what's going to be happening. I love the characters, even though sometimes they drive me insane. The world, especially when we're in Selena's point of view, oh my god, I love it so much. I love the magic. I just love the magical side of this world. I'm so glad I have the rest of the series so I can just jump straight into the next one, which might be what I've done because I already started Queen of Shadows. Were you shocked that I started Queen of Shadows right after? Because I'm addicted. So what the shocker might be instead is that I'm already 173 pages through the book already. And I read that in the past 24 hours basically. If that doesn't tell you I'm addicted to this series, I don't know what else will. I am loving this book so much. I'm already sat and all I just want to do is read. A stressful moment has already happened in this book and I'm ready to see what else the book has in store because we're having some redemptions for some characters, but then we're also having some moments for some past characters that make me hate them even more. So I want one of the characters from the last book to show up even more in this book, and we're not getting it right now. And I'm a little sad, but you do see this character pop up in thoughts of another character. But I'm loving this book so much. I need to keep continuing. I need to know what's going to be happening with all the characters. I genuinely just need to know because I can't get enough. This series is my addiction basically, or obsession at this moment. I need to continue to see what's going on with Aiden, Aelin, Kale, Dorian, Rowan, Menel, and all of them. I need to know what's going to be going on because I can't get enough of this series, seriously. I'm going to be sad when the series is over because all these characters have nestled in my heart, will be there forever. Some of the characters get redemptions in this book already, and then some characters just dig theirself a hole even further down than they already were in my heart. I had to put the book down and literally had to take a little break because of what one of the characters said, because I was stunned. I like this character, and then now I'm really having a hard time liking this character now. They're rubbing me the wrong way, and they're gonna have to dig their way back out of the hole that they dug themselves into for me. Because they're making some bad decisions and saying some bad things that I don't know how they're gonna come back from this because they're saying some really hurtful things. I'll probably be reading at least another 50 pages tonight because it's crazy to think I've already read so much in 24 hours and I just started this. I've done a good amount of reading since the last time I chatted with you, which was literally last night, and now I'm at page 416, chapter 41. I could not put this book down. I was in studio and all I wanted to do was read, so I picked up and read. I got back from studio. I read a couple chapters. I kept putting off my reading assignments for a quiz that I have for tomorrow because all I wanted to do was read this book. I'm exhausted because last night I literally stayed up till 2:30 a.m. reading this book because I could not put it down. Whatever Sarah J. Maas has put in this series, I can't stop. Last night I was about to put it down and I was hoping Rowan would show up in this book because early on in this book he was nowhere to be found. He was still off in Windland and Aelin was in Rifthold, and then he just shows up. I started tearing up because I was just so happy Rowan showed up in this book right whenever Aelin needed him. Constantly throughout the book she kept mentioning how much she missed him and she was waking up and she would roll over and wished he was there. I will say right now he is probably my favorite character right now. I thought Kale was gonna be, but as the series has gone on, my opinion has done a 180. He's driving me insane. I'm hating him in this book, and which sucks because I really liked him in the first two, but once the magical side of this world started getting exposed, Kale's just drove me insane and he hates everything about it. So Rowan coming back into this book just warmed my heart. I loved it. I cannot get enough of Aelin and Rowan together. It is so sweet. It's absolutely amazing, and just their relationship is just so wholesome. And right now they're a little in a strained moment because Aelin, she was just trying to initiate something with Rowan and Rowan just snapped and he was like, don't touch me like that, because he's been holding himself back from showing how he actually feels about her and how he's just constantly wanted to touch her. So now she's protecting herself from him because he snapped at him. He needs to have a conversation with her at some point. It's driving me insane because we get into his mind and we see that he wants the relationship back to where it was, and he's so stupid for snapping that way. He needs to talk to her. He wasn't ready. And he doesn't know how to go about their relationship at the moment because he needs to figure out what he wants the relationship to be. And there's so many things connecting the two of them together already, and he's already calling her his queen. And I just love the relationship because it's just so wholesome, and I love the bickering back and forth between one another. And it's so funny. The nightgown situation cracks me up. I'm so glad Arobin is finally dead. I was surprised at who did it. Lysandra is growing on me, and finding out that one thing about her shocked me. I did not expect that to come about. And also, Aylin's cousin's father was also a shock. What in the world? So many things are crisscrossing with one another that I was not expecting. And I'm still not a huge fan of Manon chapters. It's just not gripping me into what's going on. Her chapters are really important and what's going on with them because a lot of stuff is happening, but I'm not connected with the characters fully yet. It's getting there, but Manon is just a little annoying. I know that's just her character, and she was raised to be that way, and she has a reasoning for it, but I need her to break out of that. It's driving me insane that she can't make decisions on her own and she's just following what her grandmother is telling her to do. I'm hoping Dorian can get saved, but based on everything we've seen so far, I don't have high hopes. I wish Aylin would talk with Rowan and Aiden about her plans and not keep them fully in the dark about some of the stuff. I will admit that's one thing she needs to work on, is to let others in. She's doing better with Rowan, but I feel like since Aiden is with them so much and his loyalty is to her so much, she needs to start opening up to him because he's such a trustworthy character. I'm glad. I have so much praise for this book so far. I still have over 200 pages left of this book, and I might finish it tomorrow, might finish it the next day. We'll see, because I'm so exhausted at the moment. Me staying up to 2:30 a.m. I thought was a good idea just because I could not stop reading, but I'm so tired. I love this book so much. All I want to do is read and even destroy my sleep schedule because of this. But I have a quiz tomorrow, and all I want to do is read this book. I'm scared for the end of this book because so much is happening already. I finished Queen of Shadows and I loved every second of it. I could not get enough of this book. Seriously, it was so good. I devoured this book. I just love how Sarah J. Maas just constantly has something going on in her books. There's so much action that happens in these books, and you just don't know what's going to be happening. She's always got you on your toes, not expecting what's going to be happening, and some characters drove me insane while reading this book, while some characters just made me swoon so much. I love the relationship between Aylin and Rowan. I love it so much. It took from Heir of Fire to Queen of Shadow about 500 or so pages for them to finally kiss. It took that long. It was so worth the wait. I love seeing Rowan's inner monologue and thoughts, and him being obsessed with her and constantly worried about her safety. And I love every second of it, and I can't get enough of it. Super glad with the ending of this book. I was just so stressed out, and I love how everybody came together for the ending and just was able to work together. And one of the characters that was going off came back because they were like, no, I'm not letting my friends do it all by themselves. I'm gonna go help. So I was really happy to see that, and just so much of it just warmed my heart, and I cannot get enough of these characters. They're so amazing. I loved every single moment of it. I love this world. I'm so excited to see where the next books go and where the story goes from here, because there's so much they still have to deal with, but it was so good. I'm so, like, the ending, just, I'm happy with the ending. I'm happy with this book. I found an audiobook of one of the books that I own, and I wanted to pick up just a little bit of a contemporary romance, nothing too hard for me to understand, not a massive fantasy world, just to give my brain a break, because I've just been reading the Throne of Glass series, and that has so much going on in it. So I picked up Loving my Afterlife. I've been listening to this on an audiobook on YouTube, and I'm about 50% through already. I'm at page 170, and I did all of that yesterday. I did not want to watch a TV show. I didn't want to listen to music, so all I did was listen to this audiobook. And it's an easy read. It's just, I'm not loving it all that much at the moment. I do have a complaint with this book already, and I complained about it in the first 50 pages. I noticed that in the first 50 pages, they made references to everyday popular stuff in society, such as Bridgerton, and Twitter, and some celebrities. I can't stand when books use celebrities or media or apps that we use. I genuinely hate it. It takes me out of the story. This book is not gonna hold up well after years because of all the references to popular stuff nowadays. I had high hopes for this book, but it's just not hitting like I was hoping it would. She's going after this one character, Jonah, she met once, and she made this deal to go kiss this character, but this character doesn't even know her, so she's just stalking him because he doesn't know her. She's obsessed with him, but she's been going out of her comfort zone, so she's been experiencing so much new stuff in the process and making some new friends, and I'm loving the friendships that she's been building with all these side characters, but she's just been solely focused on this one character, and I feel like she's just missing the bonds that she's been building with all these characters. And you know, she's on a time constraint because she has 10 days to kiss this character Jonah, or she's fully gonna die. I'm really loving the one character Cooper and him and his family. I'm loving all of that building. But she's just trying to ignore it all because she's trying to find this one character. She doesn't even know if it's gonna be the same feelings when they were dead as when they're both alive now. We're already 170 pages through. We haven't even gotten to see her and him come together because everything is stacked against her and she's not even able to meet him. I'm already calling that it's not gonna be a favorite of mine. It's a good little book for between bigger series. We were given some reveals about this Cooper character. I'm really enjoying some of the side characters more so than the actual main character that we're seeing the world through. Since I'm reading that, audiobook wise, and just like giving myself a break, I haven't started them yet, but I'm planning on starting the tandem read of Empire of Storm and Tower of Dawn. I'm very intimidated in this, and I think I'm just gonna take my time through this tandem read just so I can make sure I'm reading the right chapters in the right order. I'm just extremely intimidated by the combination of these two books together at the same time. It is over 1,200 pages together. So I'm a little worried as to how long this might take me, but I'm just gonna take my time through it. I'm not gonna stress myself out about breezing through it as fast as humanly possible. I'm not gonna be doing that. It's gonna take me a while. I don't think I'll finish these two books in this reading vlog, but I might start it and give you my thoughts of the beginning of the entire thing. It is a couple hours later. I have made over 100 pages of progress on this book since the last time I gave you an update. And so now I'm at page 290, chapter 39. I have mixed feelings about this book. So I'm really liking Cooper in this book. Cooper is such a sweet guy, and he's finally working on himself after some stuff that happened in his life. So now he's going to therapy, and he's finally found somebody in his life that brings him joy, that makes him laugh, and is really sweet. I'm worried that even though Delphine has already met Jonah in person, I'm worried that she's gonna go try kiss Jonah again to save herself, and then it's gonna break Cooper's heart. He's probably my favorite character, and I have mixed feelings about the main character. I don't love her, I don't hate her. I know her clock is ticking down and we're about to hit her last day. I don't know how I feel about this book. It's okay, but Cooper's sister M, we only get EM for her name. His twin sister M passed away 5 years ago, and Merritt, which is the counselor person that Delphine deals with, died 5 years ago. I have a feeling that those two people are the exact same person, and I'm just hoping something comes along regarding that, and I'm hoping Delphine actually tells Cooper what's been going on and finally opens up to him about why she's been acting the way she is. And I'm hoping everything wraps up in a nice bow and she lives and Cooper and her get together. And I'm just loving the friendship she's making in this time frame, even though she's only going to be around for another day, supposedly. Some of the comments, the dialogue between some of the characters feels a little choppy and it just doesn't flow from one sentence to the next. I'm probably going to finish it in the next couple hours, so I'm just going to sit down and knock it out.
Love is humanity's last mechanical weapon.
I finished The Love of My Afterlife. It was just an okay book. The last 100 pages or so is where it finally kicked up and everything came to a close, and a lot of the stuff that I was hoping for happened. And I was kind of surprised as to what happened between Cooper and Delphine at the end and what a turn it took. I was not expecting all that to happen, I will say, but I did enjoy my time while reading it. It's just not something I would like actively recommend to other people, and a couple years from now I don't think the references that are made in this book will hold up after a good while. It referenced authors, celebrities, TV shows, a couple different book series. I really liked Cooper. The FMC Delphine, a little annoying throughout the book, sadly. You're in her head, you should like her, but I just was not a huge fan of her. I saw the ending, I saw some of the twists from miles away, but it was heartwarming at the ending. Definitely wrapped it up all together in a nice little neat bow. I read it in the past 2 days, so it was a quick read. Another book completed for the year. I think this might have been book 10. Did I finish 9 or 10? I can't, not 100% sure off the top of my head. So on to my next book. I've finally started the tandem read of Empire Storm and Tower of Dawn. I've maybe been reading them for 2 days and I'm already about 100 pages in both of these. I'm at chapter 9, page 110 in Tower of Dawn, and in Empire Storm, I'm at page 130, chapter 14. So I have made a bit of progress in both of these, and I'm going through them extremely slow, even though I've already read 200 pages. But in my book, that is pretty slow for me because I'm making sure I'm reading the right chapters in the correct order and enjoying my time while reading this. In Tower of Dawn and Empire Storm, we're following 2 different groups of people. In Empire Storm, we're following the group that's in Aurelia and following all their storylines, while in Tower of Dawn, we're following the group that went down to the southern continent. So you're thrown into some very different storylines, and what happens in Empire Storm is also talked about in Tower of Dawn. So the storylines are intertwined with one another. So when one thing happens in Empire Storm and the news gets to Tower of Dawn, I understand the tandem read now as to why they're separated the way they are. There's a bit of a different storyline going on in both of them, and I'm really enjoying both of them. At first thought I wasn't gonna enjoy Tower of Dawn as much and I was gonna get so confused, which I'm still working on me not being confused in Tower of Dawn, because we're getting thrown into a completely new setting, completely new characters besides a couple of them, and one of the characters we haven't seen in a while gets reintroduced in this book. And I was curious in the earlier books if this character was going to get brought back at some point, and I'm happy to see that this character is brought back. I'm curious to see if this character realizes who helped them in the past. So I'm enjoying bits and pieces of this one. Again, I'm only 100 pages into it, so I haven't gotten too far into what's going on in this book. I don't really have any feelings about if I hate this book or not. There's just so much new info thrown at you in this book that at first I was a little wary as to if I was going to enjoy this one or not, but as time's been going on and I've been grabbing my foot in a bit more, I'm slowly enjoying it. But with Empire Storm, you're following the main group, so you're not really introduced to a whole lot of new characters so far, and also another character is probably going to get reintroduced from the earlier books. So I'm excited to see how the dynamic's going to be once this other character gets reintroduced into this one. We've already gotten to see the character development and Manon from the previous books. I'm really enjoying Empire Storm more because we're just following the main cast so far. I think this is gonna be where I'm ending off this reading vlog for y'all. I will be continuing this tandem read, so just prepare yourself for my next one because I'm only 200 pages into the combined of these and it's almost 1,200 pages for both of these. So my next reading vlog is probably going to be solely focused on me reading these and my thoughts on these. Prepare yourself. I'm getting you ready. I just want to say thank you for watching. I really appreciate you taking your time out of your day, your morning, your evening, and night and watching this video. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe to my channel if you want to check out many more of my videos because they're all pretty sick videos in my opinion, so go check them out. And just thank you so much for watching. Bye!